When you write your goals, the way you choose your words matters more than most people realize. Too often, people write their goals like they are far away in the distance, something they hope might happen someday, if the stars align. They use words like, I will, or I want, or I hope. And while those phrases sound harmless, they quietly create distance between you and what you desire. They send a signal to your brain and to your spirit that what you want is not yours yet, that it's something you're chasing, but not something you own. This keeps you in a mindset of pursuit instead of a mindset of possession. If you truly want to bring your goals to life, you have to begin speaking and writing as though they already exist. You have to step into the feeling, the posture, and the language of already having them. That means replacing, I will start my business with, I am running my thriving business. It means changing, I want to be healthier, to, I am healthy, strong, and energized every day. This might sound like a small shift, but it changes everything. When you write your goals in the present tense, you invite your mind to start searching for ways to make that reality true. Your brain starts filtering opportunities, ideas, and resources that align with the words you've spoken. You begin to feel the emotions of accomplishment now instead of waiting for some future moment. And when you feel those emotions now, your energy changes. You stand differently. You think differently. You make choices differently. You begin to act as the person who already has what you're after. And that changes the speed at which your goals come to life. Think about an actor who is playing a role. They don't keep saying, I will be this character someday. No, they step into the character now. They dress like them, speak like them, think like them. That's what writing your goals in the present tense does for you. It puts you in the role of the person who already has that life. The more you write and speak it, the more natural it feels until your brain can't tell the difference between the imagined and the real. And it starts working overtime to close that gap. Now, this isn't about lying to yourself or pretending something exists when it doesn't. It's about claiming your future as though it's already yours. It's about giving your mind a clear, powerful image to chase after. If you write, I am a best-selling author, your mind begins looking for habits, opportunities, and actions that align with that statement. You might start writing more consistently, seeking mentors, or studying the craft, all because you already see yourself as that author. On the other hand, if you write, I want to be a best-selling author, your brain hears it as a wish, not a command. It knows it's something out there instead of right here, and there's no urgency to act. Writing in the present tense also taps into the law of consistency. When you tell yourself something is true, your actions naturally try to match it. If you write, I am a disciplined person who wakes up at 5 a.m., you'll feel a nudge to get up early because it matches the identity you've declared. Your subconscious wants to be consistent with the words you've claimed. But if you write, I want to be disciplined, There's no immediate pressure to prove anything. It's just an aspiration, not an identity. The moment you change your goal, writing from future tense to present tense, you change from being a dreamer to being a doer. You stop pushing your goals into tomorrow and start living them today. And here's the truth. The gap between who you are now and who you want to become isn't as wide as you think. Writing your goals in the present tense closes that gap faster, because you're constantly reminding yourself of the person you're stepping into. Every time you see your goal written down, it affirms your identity, strengthens your belief, and fuels your actions. So pick up that pen, open that notebook, and write as if your life has already transformed. Say, I am financially free. I am leading a powerful team. I am living in my dream home. I am in the best shape of my life. Let those words live on the page as if they are alive in your reality right now. Because the truth is, if you can speak it, write it, and believe it, you will begin to see it step by step. The goal stops being a far off dream and starts becoming your lived experience. And that's when results start showing up faster than you imagined. When it comes to writing your goals, clarity is power. Too many people write their goals in a way that leaves room for interpretation. And that's exactly why they end up with results that feel half fulfilled. If you say, I want to be successful, what does that really mean? Success could mean 100 different things to 100 different people, and without definition. Your mind has no exact target to aim for. The truth is, vague goals create vague results. If you want powerful results, you must give your mind and your actions something precise to lock onto. That means writing your goals with crystal clear detail. You need to include exact numbers, specific dates, measurable milestones, and vivid descriptions, so there is no confusion about what you're aiming for. If your goal is to save money, don't write, I want to save more money. That's too open-ended. And your brain doesn't respond with urgency because it doesn't know how much more is. Instead, write, I have 20,000 saved in my account by December 31st. Now your brain has a finish line. Your emotions can envision the outcome, and your actions can be reverse engineered to meet that target. If your goal is about fitness, don't just say, I want to get in shape. That could mean anything from losing 5 pounds to running a marathon. Be specific. I weigh 160 pounds. I have a toned, strong body, and I run 5 kilometers without stopping by June 1st. Those details give you a clear picture of the destination. Specificity works because it eliminates excuses. If your goal is written in such a way that it can't be measured, it's easy to convince yourself you're making progress when you're not. When you're specific, there's no place to hide. You either hit the number, achieve the milestone, or you don't. And while that might feel uncomfortable at first, it's the discomfort that drives accountability. Clear goals also help you filter your decisions. When you know exactly what you're after, it's easier to say yes to the right opportunities and no to distractions. Without specificity, every option seems tempting, because you're not sure which path is truly aligned. Writing specific goals also lights up your imagination. When you add detail, your brain starts to visualize what the achievement will look and feel like. This visualization is more than just daydreaming. It activates the same neural pathways as actually experiencing the goal, making it feel familiar and attainable. If your goal is to travel, don't write, I want to travel more. Write, I am standing on the white sand beaches of the Maldives, feeling the warm ocean breeze on my skin in July of next year. That level of clarity wakes something up inside you. It makes the goal real in your mind long before it's real in your life. The other power of specificity is that it naturally leads to better planning. When you know exactly what you want, you can map out the steps required to get there. If you write, I am earning 100,000 annually by October 1st, you can then ask yourself, what monthly income does that mean? What weekly actions will lead me there? What skills do I need to develop to make it happen? Without a clear destination, there's no way to design an effective roadmap. Specific goals also inspire consistent focus. Every time you see your written goal, you're reminded of something concrete. Instead of thinking, I want to improve my life, you think, I am improving my life by reaching this exact outcome. That shift in language keeps your mind engaged because it has a clear, defined picture to return to. So when you sit down to write your goals, don't be afraid to get granular. Add numbers, add colors, add dates, add sensory details. Make it so specific that if someone else read your goal, they could picture exactly what you're aiming for. The more precise you are, the more power you give yourself. You're not leaving your dreams up to chance or interpretation. You're giving them a direct route into your reality. And when your goals are that clear, your brain, your heart, and your actions all work together to make them happen exactly as you wrote them. When you write your goals, it's not enough to just put down the words of what you want. You have to give those words life, and the way you do that is by attaching emotion to them. A goal without emotion is like a car without fuel. It might look nice, but it's not going anywhere. Too many people write down what they want as if they're filling out a form, cold and mechanical. They'll write, I want to buy a house, or I want to lose weight, or I want to start a business, but there's no heart in it. The problem with that is when life gets hard, and facts alone won't keep you going. It's the feelings behind those facts that will get you out of bed when you're tired, that will push you to make that one more call, that will remind you why you started in the first place. When you tie emotion to your goals, you connect them to your why, and your why is the anchor that keeps you steady when the waves of doubt start crashing. If your goal is to lose weight, don't just write, I want to lose 20 pounds. Instead, write, I feel strong, confident, and full of energy every day. I love the way my clothes fit, and I move through life with freedom and power. Now, when you read that, it's not just about a number on a scale. It's about how your life changes when that goal becomes reality. You're not just chasing a result, you're chasing a feeling, and feelings are powerful motivators. Think about a time you worked hard for something. Chances are you weren't pushing just for the achievement itself. You were pushing for the way it would make you feel. Maybe it was pride. Maybe it was relief. Maybe it was freedom. Those emotions are the invisible engines behind every dream worth chasing. That's why when you write your goals, you need to write them in a way that makes your heart race a little. If you read your goal and it doesn't stir something in you, it's not written with enough emotional weight. Your brain is wired to respond to emotion. Neuroscience tells us that feelings help cement memories and influence decision making far more than logic alone. This means that when your goals are emotionally charged, your brain prioritizes them. You'll notice more opportunities, remember your commitments, and act faster because the goal feels urgent and personal. If your goal is to pay off debt, don't just write, I am debt free. Write, I feel light, unburdened, and free to say yes to the life I've always wanted. I have peace of mind, knowing I'm in control of my finances and can give generously without worry. That emotional picture makes the goal come alive. Attaching emotion to your goals also helps you overcome procrastination. We procrastinate on things we feel disconnected from. If your goal is just ink on paper without emotional ties, you'll push it aside when something else comes up. But when the goal is linked to your deepest desires and values, you'll protect it fiercely. You'll rearrange your schedule, sacrifice comfort, and push past fear because the payoff is more than material. It's transformational. Another reason emotion is so important is that it allows you to experience your goal before it happens. When you write about the joy, pride, or excitement you'll feel, you begin to experience those emotions now. That creates a positive feedback loop. You feel good about the goal now, which makes you want to work on it, which brings you closer, which makes you feel even better. It's like living pieces of your dream in advance, and that experience fuels you to keep moving forward. So, as you write your goals, don't just list the what, dig into the why. Ask yourself, how will I feel when I achieve this? How will my life change? What will this allow me to do, to be, to give? Then put those feelings right there in the goal statement. Let it be vivid, let it be personal, and let it be so emotionally charged that even on your worst days, one look at those words makes you remember that quitting is not an option. Because when your goals are tied to your heart, you're not just chasing a result. You're chasing a future you can already feel. And that kind of future is too powerful to ignore. When people write big, bold goals, they often forget one of the most important truths about achievement. You can't leap from where you are to the finish line in one jump. That's where so many dreams get abandoned. Someone writes down, I will make 6 figures this year, or I will run a marathon. And then they stare at the size of that goal and feel overwhelmed. The gap between their current reality and their desired result feels massive. And instead of feeling inspired, they feel paralyzed. This is why breaking your big dreams into bite-sized milestones is so critical. It turns the impossible into something you can actually hold in your hands and start working toward today. Think about climbing a mountain. If you stand at the bottom and focus only on the peak, it feels far, steep, and exhausting before you've even taken the first step. But if you look for the first rest point, then the next, and the next, the climb becomes manageable. You stop worrying about the whole mountain and instead focus on what you can do now. Writing your goals in milestones works exactly the same way. Instead of only writing, I am earning $100 in a year, you might break it into, I am earning $500 per month by quarter 4, or I am increasing my income by $2,000 every 3 months. Those smallest steps give you something tangible to work toward. And every milestone you hit builds confidence for the next. This approach also helps you measure progress in a way that fuels motivation. If you're working toward a big, long-term goal without milestones, it's easy to feel like you're not moving fast enough. You might be making real progress, but because you don't have markers along the way, you can't see it. That lack of visible progress can make you feel discouraged, even if you're on track. Milestones act like mile markers on a road trip. They remind you that you're getting closer, that your efforts are paying off, and that the destination is not as far away as it seems. Another benefit of breaking big dreams into smaller goals is that it gives you more opportunities to celebrate. Celebration is fuel. Every time you acknowledge a win, even a small one, you boost your energy and strengthen your belief that you can achieve the bigger goal. Those moments of celebration are not just about feeling good. They are psychological reinforcement. They train your brain to associate the work with positive outcomes, which makes you more likely to keep going. If you skip milestones, you skip chances to reward yourself along the way, and the journey can start to feel like an endless grind. Milestones also make it easier to adjust your strategy without abandoning your goal. If you set one massive target with no checkpoints, you might get to the end of the year and realize you missed it completely. But if you have quarterly or monthly milestones, you can evaluate your progress and make changes early. You can see what's working, what's not, and adapt in real time. This way, you're always moving with intention, not just hoping things will come together at the end. Breaking your dreams into smaller parts also builds resilience. When you face setbacks, and you will, big, singular goal can feel like it's slipping away completely. But if your goal is broken into steps, one setback only affects part of the plan, not the whole thing. You can recover faster because you're only rebuilding one milestone instead of the entire dream. This is how you make the impossible possible. You honor the big vision by keeping it alive on paper. But you give yourself the gift of smaller, manageable targets to chase in the present. You write your goal for the year or for the decade, but then you ask yourself, what can I achieve in the next 90 days? In the next month? In the next week? And You write those milestones down with the same passion and commitment you give the bigger goal. Over time, those small victories stack up, and one day you'll look around and realize you've reached that big dream you once thought was out of reach. The beauty is, it won't happen by magic. It will have happened because you respected the process, took it one step at a time, and turned every milestone into a reason to keep climbing. The language you use when you write your goals shapes the way you see them, believe in them, and act on them. Words are not just ink on paper. They are seeds you plant in your mind. If you plant seeds of doubt, hesitation, or negativity, you will harvest those same things in your life. That's why it's so important to write your goals in bold, positive language. The moment you start using words like don't, stop, or avoid, your brain focuses on the very thing you're trying to move away from. If you write, I want to stop procrastinating, your mind has to first picture procrastination before it can think about change. Instead, you should write, I take action quickly and consistently. That paints a clear, forward-moving picture of the behavior you want to create. Positive language works because your brain doesn't process negatives the same way you think it does. When you say, don't think of a pink elephant, the first image that comes to your mind is a pink elephant. The same principle applies to your goals. If your goal is written in a way that highlights what you're avoiding instead of what you're aiming for, you unintentionally focus your energy in the wrong direction. By writing in positive terms, you tell your mind exactly where to go. If your goal is about health, don't write, I don't eat junk food anymore. Write, I nourish my body with fresh, healthy foods every day. One version makes you think about the problem. The other makes you think about the solution. Bold, positive language also instills confidence. When you write, I am building a thriving business that serves thousands of people, instead of, I hope my business succeeds, you send a message to yourself that you are committed, capable, and moving forward. Hope is a beautiful emotion, but in goal setting, it's weak compared to conviction. The words you choose either reinforce your belief or erode it. If you keep writing and speaking in tentative, uncertain terms, your actions will reflect that hesitation. But if you speak with certainty and positivity, you'll act with boldness. The way you phrase your goals also influences how others respond to you. If you share a goal written in strong, positive terms, it inspires confidence in the people around you. They are more likely to believe in you, support you, and open doors for you because your language conveys conviction. On the other hand, if your goals sound doubtful or unclear, others may not take them seriously, and you'll miss opportunities simply because you didn't present your vision with strength. Positive language also shifts your emotional state. Words have energy, and when you choose uplifting, affirming language, you feel different just by reading them. Imagine looking at two goal statements every morning. One says, I don't want to feel stuck anymore. And the other says, I am creating a life of freedom, adventure, and growth. Which one makes you feel excited? Which one makes you want to take action right now? That emotional lift is critical because motivation is not constant. You have to create it, and the words you use are one of the fastest ways to do that. Writing in bold. Positive language also helps you build an identity around your goals. If you write, I am a disciplined and focused person who completes what I start, you begin to see yourself that way. Your brain seeks consistency between your identity and your actions, so you'll naturally start behaving in ways that align with that statement. If you instead write, I'm trying to be more disciplined, you've left room for inconsistency. The first version is a declaration. The second is a wish. Declarations change lives. Wishes fade when challenges appear. So when you sit down to write your goals, check your words carefully. Ask yourself, does this language point me toward what I want? Or does it keep my focus on what I'm avoiding? Does it sound like I believe in my own vision? Or does it sound like I'm not sure? Then rewrite until your goals sound like powerful, positive affirmations of the life you're building. Make every word count. Make every sentence a command to your mind, your heart, and your actions to move toward what you want with clarity and confidence. Because the words you choose will either pull you forward or hold you back. And you deserve words that pull you toward the future you've been dreaming of. Writing your goals is a powerful start, but the truth is that the act of writing alone won't create the life you want unless you keep those words alive. Too many people put their goals on paper once, close the notebook, and never look at them again. A forgotten goal is a neglected seed. It will never grow because it's not being nurtured. If you want your goals to become part of your reality, you must review them and speak them into existence every single day. When you revisit your goals daily, you're reminding yourself of what matters most. You're reinforcing your commitment. And you're programming your mind to look for ways to make them happen. Your brain is designed to prioritize what you focus on repeatedly. If you only see your goals once in a while, they will be buried under the noise of daily life, deadlines, distractions, and other people's demands. But when you read them every day, you keep them front and center. It's like shining a spotlight on your destination so you can't forget where you're headed. This consistent focus creates something called the reticular activating system effect, where your mind starts filtering the world to show you opportunities, resources, and connections that align with your goals. Suddenly you notice things you would have missed before, simply because your mind is trained to look for them. Speaking your goals out loud adds another layer of power. When you hear yourself declare your goals, you strengthen your belief in them. Words carry vibration and energy, and when you speak them, you're not only telling your mind what to focus on, you're sending a message to the world around you. This isn't magic. It's mindset and alignment. If you say every morning, I am building a thriving business that earns 20 Zalos in a month, you will start to make decisions, take risks, and act in ways that align with that statement because you've told yourself over and over that it's who you are. And what you're doing, daily review, also creates accountability. Every time you see your goals, you're faced with a choice. Will you move toward them today, or will you let another day slip by? That moment of awareness is crucial. Without it, days can blend into weeks and weeks into months without any real progress. But when you check in daily, you have the chance to course correct. If you missed yesterday's action step, you can make sure that effort is stronger. If you've been drifting off track, that daily review pulls you back into focus. There's also a motivational boost that comes from this habit. We all have days when motivation runs low, when life feels heavy, and we wonder if our goals are worth the effort. Reading and speaking your goals in those moments can reignite your fire. It reminds you why you started, what's at stake, and how good it will feel when you arrive. And because you've been repeating them daily, they're not just words anymore. They've become part of your identity, and that identity pushes you to keep going. You can make this practice even more powerful by engaging multiple senses. Don't just read your goals, visualize them as you say them. Imagine the sounds, the sights, the feelings of having achieved them. Write them by hand often, because the physical act of writing reinforces them in your brain differently than typing or reading does. The more ways you interact with your goals, the deeper they embed into your subconscious mind. Keeping your goals in front of you daily also helps you make better decisions. Life constantly presents you with choices, some that move you closer to your dreams and some that pull you further away. When your goals are fresh in your mind, you're more likely to make choices that align with them. You begin to naturally ask yourself, does this decision support my vision, or does it distract from it? That kind of alignment doesn't happen by accident. It's a byproduct of staying connected to your goals every day. The truth is, success is not built in one grand moment. It's built in the small, consistent choices you make over time. And those choices are guided by what you keep at the forefront of your mind. Reviewing and speaking your goals daily is how you make sure they stay at the forefront. It's how you keep your focus sharp, your beliefs strong, and your actions aligned. It's the difference between a goal you visit once and a goal you live with until it becomes real. And when you live with your goals every single day, they stop being something you're chasing and start becoming something you're stepping into one decision at a time. Writing your goals is the ignition, but movement is the engine. You can have the most inspiring, clear, and beautifully written goals in the world, but if your daily actions don't match your words, they remain fantasies. The bridge between what you write and you experience is built from the choices you make and the steps you take every single day. Aligning your actions with your words is about integrity, not just the kind of integrity you show others, but the kind you show yourself. When you write down a goal, you're making a promise to your future self. Every action you take in alignment with that goal says, I mean this. I'm serious. I'm committed. Every time you avoid action, you send the opposite message. There's a quiet power in asking yourself daily, what can I do right now that moves me closer to this goal? It doesn't always have to be something huge. Sometimes it's a bold leap, like making a major investment in your business or saying yes to an opportunity that scares you. Other times, it's something small but consistent, like dedicating an hour to learning a new skill or reaching out to one potential client. The size of the action matters less than the fact that it's in alignment. Even tiny steps compound into massive results over time, while inaction compounds into regret. It's also important to understand that aligned action often requires sacrifice. You may have to give up comfort, convenience, or even certain habits and relationships that pull you away from your goal. It's not enough to simply avoid things that hurt your progress. You must actively choose the things that feed it. If your goal is to run a marathon, that means not just avoiding junk food, but actively fueling your body with what it needs, training consistently, and making time for recovery. If your goal is financial freedom, it means more than avoiding debt. It means deliberately saving, investing, and educating yourself about money. The beauty of aligning your actions with your words is that it builds self-trust. When you consistently do what you've committed to, you start believing in yourself more deeply. That belief becomes momentum. You no longer have to rely solely on motivation because you have evidence that you follow through, evidence that you can be trusted to keep promises to yourself. That's a powerful shift because most people break more promises to themselves than they would ever dream of breaking to others. But when you flip that pattern, your confidence soars and you approach your goals with an entirely different energy. Alignment also forces you to evaluate your priorities. It's easy to get caught in the trap of being busy, but not productive, filling your days with activity that feels like progress, but doesn't actually bring you closer to your goal. Taking aligned action means pausing to ask, is this moving the needle? If it's not, it's a distraction, no matter how urgent it feels in the moment. This level of honesty with yourself can be uncomfortable, but it's necessary. Success is not built from doing everything. It's built from doing the right things consistently. There will be days when taking aligned action feels hard, when you'd rather push it off until tomorrow, when fear or fatigue tempts you to delay. Those are the moments that define your results. Anyone can take action when it's easy. Champions take action when it's inconvenient, uncomfortable, or uncertain. That's when alignment matters most, because those moments are where most people quit. If you keep going when others stop, your persistence becomes your advantage. The process of aligning your actions with your words also requires you to stay flexible. Sometimes the actions you thought would lead you to your goal won't work as planned. Instead of clinging to a broken plan, you have to adapt and find new actions that still align with your vision. Alignment doesn't mean doing the same thing forever. It means staying true to your destination while adjusting your road as needed. Ultimately, writing your goals gives you direction, but acting on them gives you progress. Without aligned action, a goal is just a beautifully written wish. With aligned action, it becomes inevitable. Every choice you make, every task you complete, every risk you take in service of your vision is a brick laid in the foundation of your future. And when you can look at your day and know without question that your actions mirrored your words, you're not just moving toward your goals. You're living in alignment with the person you're becoming. When your goals stop being something far away and start becoming your reality,